Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your forecast for the week of January 29th, 2018. This week is going to be insane in the membrane with a huge focus on the fact that there is a lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo, which is happening on the 31st. What's crazy about this full moon is it's going to be the last one that we're going to see for a while. I know that sounds crazy, but the entire month of February, there's not going to be one full moon. This hasn't happened since 1999, a very, very long time ago. If you can think in your head, where were you in 1999? I don't even know where I was. I was probably weaving strings through strawberry baskets because that's what I remember doing at such a young age. But the energy of this full moon is going to be so strong and so powerful and so divine that I don't even think that we need to have a full moon in the month of February, because this full moon that we're going to be experiencing, this lunar eclipse, is going to be just enough to carry out for the next 3 months, three to 6 months to come. And I really want you guys to channel this energy constructively and work your own personal magic. And I'll tell you about it in just a few moments, so that you don't even need to see a full moon in the sign of February in order to kick up some dust in your own personal life. But if you're like me, a lunar child, it feels kind of sad to not have a full moon, but we can work with it. And I think that's even more reason why we want to spend specific time and energy focusing on our intentions for this day, because it's going to be really powerful and unique, and we want to carry that out throughout the month of February. So that being said, before I get started moving forward with the week's details, what I like to do is take a few steps back to talk about the foundation of what this week is. You guys know how I do my charts. I pull them up, I look at them directly. It allows me to intuitively channel information and also see what it is that I see and translate that message over to you so that you're fully informed. But also, I'm a Virgo, a perfectionist, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same wavelength, especially for those of you guys who are new to the channel. So I'm going to take a few minutes, just a few short minutes, to go over some things that have happened the week before that we're going to need to know for this week moving forward, so that we're not only talking about fresh energy, but we're also talking about what is already in existence. So on the 26th, Mars, the planet of drive and ambition, moved into the sign of Sagittarius. Now, it's still currently slowly moving through the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is Sagittarius is a sign that is all about exploration and expansion and having fun and spending time with your friends and seeing what's out there for you. Mars rules our ambition, our drive, our motivation. And when Mars moves into the sign of Sagittarius, really what we start to do is we start to act upon our ideals, things that we would love to see happen. Sagittarius energy is so optimistic and so forward-thinking. It doesn't think about limitation, even though in our own lives, for a lot of us, we are feeling the element of limitations because this energy of Saturn is so strong here. And Saturn in a lot of ways wants to restrict and confine and to limit you in just the right way, to make sure that before you take a huge leap forward, that you at least have a little foundation to land on. That's just the nature of Saturn. If we didn't have Saturn, we would be making leaps left and right, left and right, left and right, and would never have anything to really catch us. Or at least we would have these ideas, and all of these ideas mean nothing if we don't have the know-how or the structure to really step upon, right? So Saturn has been working its magic in that way for us, and it kind of is a little bit of a Debbie Downer. We've been feeling that in the last 2 months of a lot of the planets were crowded in the sign of Capricorn, and now we're moving into the sign of Aquarius. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Mars moving into the sign of Sagittarius wants us to act big and to not be impulsive, but to make moves, strong moves, optimistic moves, to not limit ourselves in the way that we had in the last passing months. If you are a loyal subscriber to the BehatiLife YouTube or following me on Instagram, you have heard me talk about the energy that we were in, which was about building and expanding. So not only building up, but building out. And that was where we were at the time. And now as as Mars moves through Sagittarius, as Mercury moves into the sign of Aquarius, as Sun and Venus are moving through the sign of Aquarius, we're really starting to think outwardly. We're starting to think large. We're starting to think different. We're watching where we're naturally drawn to, what we find attractive, different things, innovative things. We just are watching ourselves kind of drift towards this new world, new life for ourselves, and to think openly and outside of the box when it comes to solutions and when it comes to options for ourselves and for our lives. So that's something that I see here for us. This started on the 26th. On the 28th, which we're going to be feeling this week, early this week, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to be squaring off with Uranus. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Uranus really has had a strong influence on us as of late. And Uranus is a planet of innovation and unexpected developments and surprises, and we really can't predict what Uranus is going to give to us or what Uranus is going to do for us. You want to check to see your personal chart to see where Uranus is currently falling. It's in the sign of Aries, so whatever house Aries rules is where you're going to see a lot of change kind of getting kicked up. But not only that, I want you to pay attention to Aquarius. What does Aquarius rule within your chart? And this is because Aquarius, there was a full moon in the sign of Aquarius not too long ago, and that was kicking some dust up for you in your personal life. Not only your life, but everyone else's lives, and my life, and also. So that's something that you would see the energy of that within your own world, within your own realm. But Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, and Uranus has really been kicking a lot of dust up. So with this, you might see some random things happening, or things that you thought you had, you know, kind of left behind, kind of showing up now, things that kind of shock you, surprise you, catch you off guard, and that's to be expected. Things within yourself are also things within your own personal environment, so that's something that you most likely would have seen. I saw it for myself this past weekend. I'll talk about that later. All of this is really important to mention because the energy of these planets shifting into new signs and bringing new energy is something that we're definitely going to feel this week of January 29th and as we move forward. So just because a sign moves into, just because a planet moves into a new sign that day, it doesn't mean that we just feel it that day. If anything, we feel it strong as it continues to transit, i.e. move through that sign. So it's sometimes the day that it happens is really important because at least you know what's going to be happening and you can predict what's going to happen. But it's really important for me to mention it again this week, even though it was mentioned last week, because the energy of that is so strong. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about this week in full detail. So on the 31st, so on the 31st, that's the day that we're having this incredible lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo. Now, a lunar eclipse is a full moon just intensified, completely heightened. Normally, full moons are pretty emotional to begin with, but with a lunar eclipse, it's like you just take a regular full moon and inject it with steroids. So now it's just like bigger and badder. Now, I personally love the energy of the full moon. This is the time when I really go into my own personal sacred space. I set my own intentions. I work my magic for my life of the things that I want to unfold, the things that I want to see come in and to manifest themselves. That's just me personally. Everyone's totally different. I have a video about how to set intentions, and I have a video about how to set intentions. I can link that down below. Please remind me, because sometimes I forget to do that. You guys know that about me. But with this lunar eclipse, the energy of Leo is so powerfully infused into our lives in that moment. And Leo naturally rules children, it rules fun, it rules creativity, it rules expression. It's larger than life. But also, you want to check to see what Leo rules within your own personal chart, because that's where you're going to see this kind of like, awakening is the word that comes through, but it's like, I see this like something coming to life and birthing itself. And as I was looking at the chart and writing down my notes to prepare for, so I didn't want to miss any important dates, as I was looking at it, I saw and felt so many people birthing and bringing new things, new creations, bringing them into this life. And the energy and the element of uniqueness and being different and standing out and like singing from your heart. And that's the image that I see is really someone who is singing, like, but not quietly, not closeted. It's just like expressive, free flowing from the heart. Just someone who is on, like, if it almost is like, if you are on the streets of New York and there's someone who has a microphone and a stereo system and they're just belting out this song and just putting their heart and their soul into this song on the street, and everyone's looking at them and they're like, wow, that person is so talented, that person is so gifted. And it comes from a place of just pure passion and create like God-given talent, that it's like, why would we ever want them to hold this back? And that's what I see for this full moon, which it's like, what is stirring within you? And that's what this full moon is bringing up, is emotion and passion and God-given talent and gifts. And to kind of suppress it and to push it back, it diminishes you. It doesn't feel good. That's like when I was, working with BehatiLife in the very beginning stages and working to finish my degree. The whole world, including family and friends, was telling me, like, look, Jess, you have to pick one or the other. In order for you to be successful and to complete, this level in your life, you have to put BehatiLife on the back burner. You have to put it on pause. And it took a lot of convincing, but 1 week I did. And that 1 week, it felt so poisonous. It felt so toxic. It didn't feel right. It didn't sit well with me in my spirit. And the very next week, I went right back to BehatiLife and started, still went back to pulling cards and talking about astrology and talking about what was going on in the planets. And I was just blasting it out all on Twitter because I could not hold myself back. And that's how you know that what it is that you're doing it for a reason. It's there for a purpose. It's what you're designed to do, and you must do it. And that's what I see for this full moon eclipse in Leo, is just this full on singing from your heart. You can't even hold it back, even if you wanted to. Now, I don't want you to hear me say like, oh, okay, Jess is saying singing, so now I have to like grab my microphone and go out into the streets of New York, book that ticket, and just start singing on the street. Don't do it if that's not what you're passionate about. What I am saying is that whatever it is that is your God-given talent, that that you do it the way that you do it, the only way that you can do it, throw yourself into it. Put your heart into it and sing from the top of your lungs. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This is for you. The more that you make it about you, the more that you are following your flow and what feels right and what feels good and what feels natural to you, literally people just naturally gravitate towards it because they see that light and they can't ignore it even if they wanted to. They will pay you. They will pay you to support you to do what it is that you're doing because they want a piece of that gift, because only you can do what you do the way that you do it. So that's something that I see here. The other thing that I'm seeing is the emphasis of striking out on your own. And this means that you have to do things only the way that you can. In a lot of ways, the months to before this, we really were prioritizing a lot of expectations from others and what was important for others. And even if we were focusing on ourselves and thinking about ourselves and thinking about what it is that we wanted, we still had to compromise. And what I see for this full moon eclipse is an energy and emphasis on, I have to do what's right for me. I can't really think about others. There's like two levels to this. It almost feels as though there's going to be a group of people, 50%, that are just like, I need to focus on me. I need to be selfish. And I need to be hungrily selfish, meaning that I'm just you know, giving it all to myself. I'm just prioritizing myself. I'm, you know, showering myself with the opportunity and the chance that it is that I deserved for a long time. And if I continue to compromise, I'm only taking away from the energy and the effort that I have deserved for so long. And then on the opposite side, I see people being driven to be, you know, not sacrificial, but in a space where they're focusing on global, they're focusing on change, they're focusing on creating this shift. But in a lot of ways, again, it's almost self-centered too, because their feeling and their drive to help others is something that really fulfills them within. So I see that, but either way, no matter what path it is that you're going to be choosing for this lunar eclipse, you can really do no wrong, but allow yourself to go your own way. The biggest message that I see is to not look for validation. Don't seek confirmation. Don't ask for advice. Don't ask for what others have done. You have to do what you do. You have to find your own way. That's nothing to be afraid of. It's an energy and an element of independence that a lot of you guys are maybe brand new to, even myself. Just so brand new as far as like walking down this path, and it's just like, you know what? Normally I would ask so-and-so for advice. Normally I would tell others what it is that I'm doing, but right now I can't afford to ask other people's opinions, because their opinion on what I should do is going to stop me from doing what I need to do, because their perspective is going to shift my perspective, and this path is for me to take. In a lot of ways, what you're going to do is different than what so many others have ever done. And you have to pave your own way. And that's what I see here. But the fire and the fuel within you that's going to come from your sacral chakra, from your space of creativity and expression, is going to be like rocket fuel to kind of power you through it and motivate you and keep you driven and moving forward progressively, that it's not even going to matter. And you're going to know that you're on the right road because it feels effortless. You lose yourself, you know, looking at whatever it is that you're doing, or studying, or creating, or singing, or working out the details. Whatever it is, you completely lose yourself. You look up and you're like, oh my God, the whole day passed. And if you don't know what it is that you want for yourself, if you don't know what that is, at least set the intention that you are now open to receive this type of abundance. And it really is a level of abundance of, you know, doing work that it is that you lose yourself in, doing something that you just love. You could just lose yourself looking into the eyes of this person, whether it be a brand new baby, a child, a lover, a partner, whether it be a career, a job, artistic expression, a song. There's so many ways that this energy can manifest itself. And I really want to encourage you guys to be at least open to seeing it. If you're open to seeing it, if you're open to accepting it, then it's like 90% more, you know, 90% more of a chance for it to come into your life. And the feeling is going to be everything. So I don't want us to confuse feeling with intuition, because intuition is something that we feel, but it's not, intuition doesn't equal emotion, if that makes any sense. But in this way, in this week, our emotions are, if you feel excited, if you feel good, if it makes you happy, then there's something there. There's a little gold chunk that's just sitting there for you to just see it. And sometimes it's like a little glisten in the corner of your eye, and it catches your eye, and you're like, okay, that's it. That's interesting to me. I love that. What is it that you love? And make a space for you to be able to pour your heart into it so that it has the chance to build. And again, with Leo rules expression. It rules the energy of the heart. So it's something that is completely fulfilling to you and just like radiates throughout your entire being. You know that feeling when you're in love and like it really just like, it's like a vibration that comes off of you, that almost everything is kind of blurred out of perspective from you being able to see it clearly, because the element of love and passion and just joy is radiating off of you. So that's what I see for this lunar eclipse, is get into that space and set intention for that energy, that element to come into your life. And when it does, follow that and don't ask questions, just go for it. So that's what I see here. This eclipse is going to be so intense, so beautiful, so stunning. And I see whatever it is that you discover on this day and whatever it is that you set intention for, February should be the month of reeling it in and enticing it in and bringing it in and allowing it to come to you. Like really just putting your head back and allowing yourself to kind of bask in the glow of the energy and the vibration of this whatever this is coming into your life. Now, Leo naturally rules children. It rules creative projects and businesses and brands. It rules artistic expression. It rules dating. It rules you know, having fun, so sexual, like fun in that way, like sexually. So those are things that you can set intention for to kind of spice up your dating life, to have more fun within that, to be more expressive in that way. There's nothing wrong with asking for those things in your own personal life. So that's something that I see. For this lunar eclipse, the moon, representing our emotions, and is going to be the highlighting point, is going to be naturally, well, not naturally, the moon is going to be sitting right on top of the natal node. The natal node connects us immediately to our karma and where it is that we're, you know, striving to move towards. So the path ahead of us does not promise to be easy or effortless, but it does promise that it's going to be worth it. And the natal node is that star within the sky that says, this way, follow me this way. And it's that star that you look towards, that just kind of like throughout your entire life, you're looking at it and you move towards it and you strive towards it. It's your goal. It's what it is that you are designed to work to achieve within this life. And this full moon, the sun sits directly opposite of the natal node almost perfectly. And the sun represents our life energy sitting in the sign of Aquarius. The sun is our life energy. Aquarius is all about, you know, branching out, doing things differently, innovative, not asking or looking to see what the crowd is doing, but doing what is right for you, being an eccentric, being a weirdo, finding your group, finding your clique. And that's something that I talked about last week, which it's like the more that you kind of branch out and do things for yourself, even if you're in a partnership or a relationship, or even if you have like a really good group of people that you can count on, still the sun and in this life, during this time that we're in this phase in our life, you still have to kind of branch out and do things for yourself, by yourself, so that you can find people who are going to make you think differently, who have gifts for you of friendship and opportunity and new things that you like are just this entire world wants you to discover. And when we stay in our box, we never have that chance. We never have that opportunity. But when we allow ourselves to branch out, you then are allowed to do things and experience things that you never would have imagined that you could do. And that's something that's really, really unique. And that's the biggest word here too, is being unique, being yourself, and being different. Giving yourself the chance to step outside of your normal box in order to receive something that you would have never been able to receive. And the natal node, again, when it's, you know, that is connected to our karma, and the moon represents our emotions and intuition, and the energy of this full moon is kind of opening up a door and bringing things up to a surface. It's like this huge wave that comes in and crashes on our house, on our communities, and then that water runs back, and then we see what the wave brought in. And we look at it and we're like, okay, so this was washed out, but this was left over. And now I'm going to work with this because there's abundance here. And this wave came in from, you know, lands far, far away, but carried this blessing onto my doorstep in front of me right now. So I need to act upon this. I need to work with this because this is a gift from God. This is a gift from the divine. This is a gift from the cosmos. So I definitely see that here. The emotions are totally going to be heightened. That's because Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is going to be squaring this full moon. That's okay, but just know that, you know, if you are emotionally triggered, for a lot of us, it really does seem like, you know, our feelings are exaggerated, larger than life, bigger than they normally are. We feel things a little bit more. And it's not even that we feel it more, we're just more expressive. That's the energy of Leo anyways. It doesn't really hold back. It kind of pours out. So that's something that you can see here. I said this last week, and I want you guys to be aware of this for this week, that Venus, the planet of beauty and love and attraction and values, is moving through the sign of Aquarius. The things that we normally valued is totally changing. I also see us valuing experiences over things. You know, just watch what it is that you're drawn to. Watch what it is that you're naturally like, you know, that catches your eye, because again, this is another element of, look, this is something here for you that you would have missed if it wasn't for this opportunity now. It's a little gold chunk that's been sitting there waiting for you to be aware of it and to take notice of it. So I see that. On the 3rd, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to be sextile Mars. Mars is a planet of drive and ambition. I don't think I talked about this. So Mars on the 26th moved into the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very optimistic. It's expansive. It's friendly. It's outgoing. Sorry, you guys. I'm like my brain is running a mile a minute. I've got this song from Shaggy and Sting stuck in my head. I'll link it down below. I'm in love with it. Listen to it. It'll get the good vibes pumping within your own life. It's definitely been getting the good vibes pumping in my personal life. But as Mars moves to the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is so optimistic and so larger than life and fun. And Mars rules our ambition and our motivation. And when Mars moves to the sign of Sagittarius, we become more prone to act upon our ideals and things that it is that we would love to see happen. And again, I see this as this like glittering star that kind of entices us. And it's like, you know what? If you could have anything in the world, or if you could do anything, or if you could go anywhere and fear or money wasn't an issue, what would that be? Set intention for that. Think about like how joyful you would feel if you got to that destination. Think about how good it will feel if you have freedom to explore and to hang out with different friends and to meet new people and just be in a space of just exuberance and fun and excitement. Whatever that looks like for you, write it down and bring it to life. Work to bring it to life. Work to manifest itself. Because Mars needs you to act. Mars is a little impulsive in the sign of Sagittarius, but it's because it's like, it's you know what, the image that I just got? It's kind of like, so interesting that this is the image, but what I see is a bunch of like hunting dogs that have been in the pen and like a lot of energy kind of built up, and then you let the pen out and they go running out to go find a rabbit or running out to go see what they can hunt down and bring back to their masters. But they have all this freedom, they're excited, they're bouncing through the woods, they're running out, they're gonna come back, they're gonna come back home, but right now they have that moment to run out and to see what it is that they can discover and track down. And once they hear it, they sound the alarm, all the rest of the dogs come running to go find it, to catch it, and to bring it back to their owner, and then they're so proud of themselves and they have a good meal, and then they fall asleep by the fireplace. Like, that's the craziest metaphor, but really that's what it is that I see for us, is just that opportunity to like run out and to explore. And everyone is going to be so different. You know, some of us are going to again book those flights, book those tickets, and run out into the world. Other people are going to dive into writing that book, publishing it, looking into connections. Some others are going to be introduced to totally new friends. There's so many ways that this can manifest itself, even spiritually, with education, and even, you know, like I said before, with travel. So there's many different ways, but it's action, action, action on these impulses, action on optimistic action. Acting upon your ideals, acting upon, you know, that goal of, you know what, this would be so awesome to experience. Let me go ahead and get this ball rolling, and set the time out and mark the time out so that I can experience this, because it's for me to experience. Yeah, I love this. I really do love this week. Saturn is still in the sign of Capricorn for this week. Capricorn is all about limitation and restriction, but also about building that firm foundation. So the moves that we make here really do benefit us for the long haul if you work this right. Also make sure that you're looking out for your bones, your teeth, your health, your overall stress management, because Saturn likes to wear things down over time. Saturn sitting in the sign of Capricorn rules our bones and our teeth and those things, and just stress management. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of those things, of course, and the reason why I'm saying those in general, because of course you want to take care of your health across the board, but it highlights, because Saturn is there, it shows where there's going to be a problem and what is being kind of ground down at this time. So I want you guys to be aware of it at least. So that's something that I see for you. On the 3rd, on Saturday, Mercury, the planet of communication, which is now in the sign of Aquarius, is going to be sextile Mars in the sign of Sagittarius. This is communication and action. So I see this as a good day of connecting, communicating with others, maybe taking initiative for certain things. Again, be idealistic. What I want is for next week for you guys, for me to get a few emails saying, hey Jess, when you told me to, put that email out or to send that text message out with the hope that something was going to happen, and I didn't think that it was going to happen, but then it did happen, those are the emails that I want to see for next week, because the action that you take this week is going to pay off this week, the next week, the weeks to come, and it's going to be good for money, it's going to be good for relationships, it's going to be good for your mind, for your body. So watch your hunches, watch your intent, your intuition, and act upon it. Don't not act upon it if it seems not too good to be true, but if it seems like, this is a really awesome opportunity, there's no way that they would say yes to me, or that they would accept me, or that I would get this. Do it and watch what happens, and then let me know what manifested for you and what happened for you, because you really do want to enter into a space of idealism. You don't want to hold yourself back because of your own logical, like trying to, figure out if something can happen for you. Just be open to it happening, and it will happen for a lot of us. And then finally, on the 4th, Venus, the planet of beauty, love, and relationships, is going to be squaring off with Jupiter. This could be a little tricky, but I still see it as a good thing. Again, this could be, if I had to warn against anything, I see it again as being mindful of your spending, being mindful of not pushing yourself onto others, being respectful of other people's boundaries. Again, you're not the only one that's doing your own thing the way that you do it. Other people are still feeling this energy of independence. So if you push too much, or if you try to catch someone or trick someone into sticking with you, you don't want to do it. Again, just focus on yourself, because again, the element of surprise is here with Uranus, and just people are on a different level this week and on a different level this month, and as we move into the month of February. And I don't want anything to backfire in your face. I really want you to be respectful of yourself, respectful of others, and just kind of carry on in the best way possible, okay? So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, because and hit that bell that's at the bottom at the page, because that means that you have instant access and priority notification for any video that gets uploaded on my YouTube. And you're gonna want that if you want to know what is ahead for the week, okay? So I hope this makes sense. I love you guys so much. Let me know how this week is manifesting for you, and we'll talk soon. I love you. Bye.